Hello everyone and welcome to the third episode of KEMA Labs podcast, where we provide news and insights on the testing and electrical sector. Today we are in the Digital Laboratory of Milan, where we perform protocol testing on substation automation equipment, protection and smart meters. And I'm your host, and I'm here with Riccardo Ceresini, Senior Test Engineer of this lab. But without any further hesitation, let's welcome Riccardo on board. So, Riccardo, could you share briefly something with respect to your experience and role within KEMA Labs?
Sure, Antonio. So, hello, my name is Riccardo Maria Ceresini. I am an electronic engineer, and after a long experience in the field of cellular networks, I have been working in CESI since 2008. I started my activity in the consulting division, supporting our customers, especially utilities, in developing a new substation automation, their management, and the metering solution based on innovative communication and data modeling standards for the energy market. I held courses for customer personnel and the university on ESC 61850 standard. In 2008, I started to participate in standardization activity, especially for IC 61850, both at the national, Italian Electrotechnical Committee, and international level, IC. And since 2016, I'm the Vice President of the Italian Technical Committee 57. I conducted the implementation of the accredited testing laboratory for the smart metering compliance according to Meters and More, that is a Senelec standard called SMITP. Well, then a big change, because from 2019-2020, I moved to the testing division, KEMA Labs. And from 2022, I started implementation and accreditation at the UCA International User Group of the Level A laboratory for the conformity certification of server IDs, starting from edition 2.0, then sample value for 92LE, then again sample values for 61869-9 standard, and finally the complete ID server edition 2.1. I'm the contact person for this laboratory, and here we are.
Great, Riccardo. So, talking about certification and EAC 61850, how certification of EAC 61850 Edition Server 2.1 can enhance the reliability of the technical solutions of our clients' product and services, and what's new with respect to the previous version?
Yeah, Antonio, first of all, we have to make a clarification. Adoption of Edition 2.1 is driven by the evolution of the standard and the related UCA International User Group testing policies. In fact, starting from January 2024, it is mandatory to certify devices in Edition 2.1. A customer, a manufacturer, could request optionally and additionally another certification in Edition 2.0, especially for backward compatibility for a specific project or plans. This, of course, has impacts on the production process for the manufacturers, but also for the testing laboratories that have to implement specific test procedures time by time, and thus have new accreditations to be in line with the latest version of the standard. So, coming back to your question, Antonio. So, the testing campaigns and their results allow the manufacturer to confirm the maturity of the implementation or identify possible weaknesses or gaps that have to be solved, and in this way to achieve the compliance of the products. New testing procedure, of course, allow the manufacturer to have products always in line and compliant to the latest version of the standard. This standard, 61850, is always introducing new features and technologies over time.
Great. Thank you, Riccardo. But could you elaborate some specific examples What about the new features introduced? What about the changes?
Yeah, sure, Antonio. So let me think about an example. Communication between IDs via goose messaging. In the beginning, this feature, this communication was based on an interaction inside a specific substation. So sometimes a segregated and isolated environment. Now we need devices interacting and communicating between different substations distributed geographically. And therefore, the standard introduced new routable protocol stacks to allow this interaction for complex and distributed automations, of course, including some cybersecurity features because of this new open environment. Another example, sample value, that is measurement on the process bus. So in the beginning, there was a guideline well known as 9-2LE that proposed a very reduced set of features in terms of sampling rates, in terms of configurations, messaging. And this reduced and, let me say, rigid approach was intentional to allow a first implementation of this new part of the standard. Nowadays, this feature is very advanced, and now it's driven by another standard that is the IC 61869-9 that was developed in the context of the transformer instruments. And although it's still a delimitation of the overall international standard 9-2, anyway has increased dramatically the possibilities in terms of sample rates, content, informational content of the messages, and configuration of the devices, data modeling. Another example, the communication between the client and servers inside a substation. Up to the testing version edition 2.0, it was possible to verify only the communication based on IPv4. Now, with edition 2.1, we can test also the communication based on IPv6. And on this topic, our laboratory have a relevant position according to the information you can find in the test list of accredited laboratories in the UCA website.
So I understood that this certification with the new version of the standard is effectively increasing the confidence of the manufacturer against his technical solution. But let's also explore now the point of view of the market. So what about the level of confidence of the market with respect to this new edition of the standard? What can certification bring in terms of value to the market?
Yes, sure. So certification issued by the third party or so-called A-level laboratory allows the manufacturer customer, I think about utilities, I think about plants or substation integrators, I think about also to manufacture of complex automation and control equipment to procure devices with a reliable implementation of the IC 61850 standard. And this is the very, very basic requirement for interoperability between devices from different manufacturers that must cooperate in complex and distributed automations.
Thanks, Riccardo. So basically, we understood that certification increase technical resilience and consciousness about the solution with respect to the manufacturer. Increase market confidence. So we can definitely say that certification is positively impacting our clients' businesses and processes then. What do you think about this?
Yes, Antonio, I think I can answer to your question with an example. I have in mind a customer of ours who followed the process of developing and certifying its ID for the sample values, starting from the initial 9-2 LE to the most advanced version 61.869-9, allowing the manufacturer to meet the requirement of a major customer, his customer, securing a very relevant contract. And additionally, an improved positioning of its product in the market. That is an excellent precondition for new business opportunities.
Great. So thank you very much, Riccardo, for your insightful and detailed presentation, also practical with a lot of examples to go deeper in the changes of the standard and how this can really affect and improve our client businesses. So I'm sure our audience has learned a lot from this presentation. So I thank you very much for looking at our podcast, and please stay tuned for the next episodes that we will have on the pipeline in the next period. So thank you, Riccardo.
So Antonio, thank you for being here, for pointing the focus on our activities, and the laboratory is here, it's open, and I hope many people will come here to test their equipment.
For sure.